Hello dear FMG students, I am Dr. Anuradha Dhawan here, and today I will be discussing the topic of diabetic retinopathy. It's an important topic, and in the past MCI papers many questions have come on this topic. So let us start with the topic diabetic retinopathy. So at the outset, let's understand what do we mean by diabetic retinopathy. So diabetic retinopathy are the changes that occur in retina due to diabetes. Okay, so diabetes, it affects many organs in the body, and retina is or eye is one of the target organ. The changes which occur in the retina as a result of complication of diabetes is known as diabetic retinopathy or DR. Okay, diabetic retinopathy. Now, what are the risk factors which make a person more susceptible to develop diabetic retinopathy? The most important is duration of diabetes. Okay, duration of diabetes. What do I mean by duration of diabetes? Supposedly a patient is having diabetes for 25 years or for 5 years. Okay, now more is the duration of diabetes, more are the chances of development of diabetic retinopathy. So this patient who has diabetes for 25 years is at more risk of developing diabetic retinopathy than a patient who has diabetes only for 5 years. So this person has less risk. Okay, duration of diabetes is an important factor. Now this can be an MCI MCQ also, that which is the most important factor which is responsible for occurrence of diabetic retinopathy. It is your duration of diabetes. Besides this, the other important factor is your blood sugar control. Okay, that how is your blood sugar control, whether it is high or it is well controlled. So the patient who develops diabetic retinopathy, what kind of changes are seen in the retina of such patient? Before starting those changes, I would like you to take through a normal retina examination. Okay, so the picture which you are seeing here is normal retina. Okay, so let me describe it for you. Normal retina, or what we call as fundus examination. Okay, the examination of the retina which is done using ophthalmoscope is known as fundus examination. So fundus examination or retina examination is one and the same thing. Now when we do a normal fundus examination, we see a picture like this. So you can see it is a clear retina. Okay, let us go through a few landmarks. This, what you see over here, is optic disc. Optic disc. From the optic disc, these blood vessels, they arise, and then these blood vessels, they branch into small vessels. Okay, and they branch into small vessels. Okay, this central part of the retina is known as macula. Okay, so these few terms you should be familiar with. This is optic disc, the blood vessels are coming and they supply the retina, and this central part is known as macula. Now diabetes affects the blood vessels of retina. Okay, so that is why we should be aware of that what is the normal fundus picture, because diabetes affects blood vessels of retina, and because of which the various effects of diabetic retinopathy, they are seen. Okay, right. Now let us see what is the clinical picture in diabetes. Okay, so diabetic retinopathy, the clinical picture, it can be divided into two stages. Okay, the clinical picture can be divided into two stages. Stage 1 is early stage, Now this early stage means that the effect of the diabetes is mild, it is not very severe, changes are less, and it has been given a specific name, that is non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy. Okay, non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy, and we'll be writing it as NPDR. So NPDR is the early stage of diabetic retinopathy. Okay, so what are the changes which are seen in NPDR? Okay, so let us see it through a diagram. Okay, so changes in NPDR. Okay, NPDR. So number one, the first change which is seen is presence of microaneurysms. Okay, secondly, you can see dot and blot retinal hemorrhages. Okay, number three, you can see what we call as hard exudates. Okay, hard exudates are lipid deposits. We can see soft exudates. Okay, soft exudates are also called as cotton wool spots. Okay, and they are the ischemic areas. Okay, they are the ischemic areas. And there can also be development of macular edema. So you remember macula, the central part of the retina. So there can be changes in the macula in the form of macular edema. So now let's go through the changes which are seen in NPDR. So number one, microaneurysms, dot and blot retinal hemorrhages. You can see here these hemorrhages over here. These are dot and blot retinal hemorrhages. Hard exudates, which are the lipid exudates. You can see here the white spots over here. Soft exudates and macular edema. Macular edema is the swelling in this retinal area. Okay, so number 5 you can label it as macular edema. Okay, now the earliest change. So as you can see, what is the number one change? The earliest change which is seen in diabetic retinopathy is the development of microaneurysms. Okay, so this is a MCQ question, that what is the earliest change which is seen in diabetic retinopathy? Okay, or what is the earliest change seen on retina if a diabetic patient comes to an ophthalmologist? Okay, so this is the presence of development of microaneurysms. Okay, so these are the changes which are happening in the non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy changes. Now from 1 to 4, okay, so from 1 to 4 there may be no symptom in the patient. Okay. These changes are present, but there is no symptom in the patient. There is no effect on the vision. However, once there is development of macular edema, then there is vision loss, because macula is the part of retina which is responsible for central vision. So once the macular edema develops, then there is vision loss. So this can also be a MCQ, that what is the cause of vision loss in NPDR. So the cause of vision loss in NPDR, non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy, is macular edema. Okay, right? So as you understood that non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy change is an early stage. Okay, so now what happens when the diabetic retinopathy progresses? That is, what is the late stage? So in the late stage, what is going to happen? The late stage of the diabetic retinopathy, okay, so stage number 2, late stage. The late stage of diabetic retinopathy is called proliferative diabetic retinopathy. Early stage was NPDR, non-proliferative. Late stage is proliferative diabetic retinopathy. This is also called PDR in the short form. Okay. Now, what do we mean by proliferative? Proliferation means there is growth of something new. So it is the growth of new vessels on retina. Okay. So these new vessels are abnormal. So there is growth of new vessels on retina, which is given a specific name, that is neovascularization. So this neovascularization comes in the proliferative diabetic retinopathy change. Okay, and this is the hallmark of PDR. Okay, right? So this can also be a MCQ. What is the hallmark or the most characteristic change seen in PDR? That is neovascularization. Okay, so let us see through a picture. So again, remember, this was your normal fundus, okay, a healthy retina, and just compare this with this. What we see on the picture on the right is lot of new vessels. You can see this whole network of new vessels. Okay, neovascularization. Okay, so this is a case of PDR, proliferative diabetic retinopathy. Sometimes there can be an image based question also, that a diabetic patient is there and this is the fundus picture of a diabetic patient. If we see this network of new vessels, then it is, the diagnosis is PDR. Okay, right? So mild stage was NPDR and the early stage, the late stage is PDR. Okay. Now, if this disease still advances, okay, then it can be complicated by number 1, vitreous hemorrhage. Okay, vitreous hemorrhage means that there is bleeding from these new vessels. You saw those big new vessels, so there is bleeding from those new vessels and it causes vitreous hemorrhage. Or sometimes there can be development of tractional retinal detachment. Okay, short form TRD. The tractional means pulling. These new vessels which are there, they can bleed or they can pull retina. So type of detachment which is seen in diabetes is TRD. Okay, so this is also an important point to remember. TRD. So PDR is characterized by neovascularization. Further, it can be complicated by vitreous hemorrhage or by tractional retinal detachment. Okay. So why this PDR is happening? Okay. Why the neovascularization is happening? There is an important chemical factor which is produced in the retina. Okay, which is produced in the retina and it is causing these changes, that is called FVEGF, VEGF. Okay, vascular endothelial growth factor. So this is one chemical factor which has been identified to be causing these changes. So since we know that this VEGF is there, so we can use an anti-VEGF to treat diabetic retinopathy. Okay, anti-VEGF. So this anti-VEGF is the drug which is available. So this can be your pharmacology question. So this is the drug available to treat diabetic retinopathy. Okay, and the medicine is available by the name of ranibizumab. Okay, ranibizumab. Okay, so just quick revision. Neovascularization is because of a factor called vascular endothelial growth factor. We have a drug which is anti-VEGF by the name of ranibizumab, which we can inject. So this is given in the form of a local injection in the eye for the treatment. Okay. Now, besides this, what are the other treatment options available with us? Okay. So to treat the diabetic retinopathy, we have one option is to give anti-VEGF drug. Okay, treatment of diabetic retinopathy. So one is anti-VEGF injection. Number one. We can also do laser treatment. Okay, laser treatment. The laser which is used is double frequency. Okay, it is called frequency doubled ND-YAG laser. Okay, this is a specific laser for retina. Okay, this is again an important point to be remembered. This can come as an MCQ, which is the type of laser which is used for retina. Frequency doubled ND-YAG laser. It is also known as green laser. Green laser. Okay. Right. Now this laser can be applied in two manners. If the disease is early, we give focal laser, like in macular edema. Okay. Or if the disease is late, okay, late stage, then we give PRP laser. PRP laser means pan retinal photocoagulation. That is, you are applying laser to all over the retina. Okay, so laser treatment, either focal or PRP. Now if the disease is in complicated stage, so what were the two complications? Vitreous hemorrhage or TRD. So if the disease is in complicated stage, then we have to do surgery. and the name of the surgery done is vitrectomy. Vitrectomy. Okay, so vitrectomy surgery is done for the complicated stage when there is vitreous hemorrhage or tractional retinal detachment. Okay, so this completes the treatment of diabetic retinopathy. Okay, just to revise, we can give anti-VEGF injection, we can do laser, or we can do surgery. Okay, so this was about your diabetic retinopathy. Now let us revise by doing some MCQs. Okay, so read with me. The first MCQ is, which of the following is not a feature in diabetic retinopathy? Okay, which of the following is not a feature in diabetic retinopathy? Microaneurysm, retinal hemorrhages, arteriolar dilatation, neovascularization. So we saw 5 features in diabetic retinopathy, out of which arteriolar dilatation was not there. Let's revise. What were those? Microaneurysms, dot and blot retinal hemorrhages, hard exudates, soft exudates, macular edema, and neovascularization. So arteriolar dilatation is the correct choice in this case. Okay, so next question is, what is the commonest cause of loss of vision in non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy? So non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy, if you remember, is the early stage of diabetic retinopathy, and in those cases the vision loss is usually due to macular edema. Okay, because the other changes, the vitreous hemorrhage, the detachment, is seen in proliferative diabetic retinopathy. The next question is, what is the ophthalmic change initially seen in diabetes mellitus? Okay, recollect once again. Let's revise. What was the first change seen in the case of diabetic retinopathy? Development of microaneurysm. Okay, all these changes, all the given choices are present in diabetic retinopathy, but the first change which is seen is the development of microaneurysm. Okay, let's do another question. Tractional retinal detachment is seen in, choices are myopia, diabetic retinopathy, trauma, vitreous loss after surgery. So I'm sure it's very clear now. Tractional retinal detachment is seen in diabetic retinopathy. It's a complication of late stage of diabetic retinopathy, and we see tractional retinal detachment in these cases. Okay, let's do another question. Which of the following is characteristically associated with proliferative diabetic retinopathy? Okay, so read the question carefully. What change he is asking for in proliferative diabetic retinopathy? The choices are cotton wool spots, papilledema, soft exudates, neovascularization. So when we label diabetic retinopathy as proliferative, when there is neovascularization. So the correct answer is neovascularization, choice D. Okay, so students, that finishes the discussion of diabetic retinopathy, and I wish you all the best, and we'll keep discussing the topics, different topics for the FMG exam. Okay, thank you.